talk about the LEADER programme. As you know, the LEADER programme is the investment programme, which is 250 million in the current programme, which is 2014 to 2020. And in particular, I want to talk about the removal of 10 million from that programme for this year. The removal of that to put into the LIS scheme. Now, I have no problem with money being put into the local improvement scheme. In fact, it is desperately needed for all of the private roads in rural Ireland to be done. And I remember even working in Mayo County Council alone, in that where the budget there was cut over a number of years, by indeed both Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, was cut by 100 million. And all the time, the local improvement scheme was a challenge in trying to get money for that, where you had hundreds of roads that desperately needed to be repaired and that couldn't be repaired, that the budget wasn't there. But in the way that this allocation was made and the announcement that was made at the Ploughing Championships, which gave the impression that there was 10 million extra being given to rural Ireland for the LIS scheme. What the Minister and Minister Ring omitted to do was to tell people that I'm taking this money from the LEADER programme for this year and putting it into the LIS scheme. In fact, what he said was the LIS funding was initially announced at the Ploughing Championship. It's only right and fair that some of the motor tax, excise duty on fuel and local property tax be paid by people in rural areas is invested in the repair of shared laneways. But what he omitted to say was the true source of the funding was from the LEADER programme. Now, the LEADER programme is desperately needed across rural Ireland for investment in communities and in the start-up of small businesses to provide employment. And it is not going to be done by things being shifted around. In the programme that well, we know why the money isn't, and on the face of it, it might look, well, if it's not going to be spent here, now why not have the flexibility to spend it somewhere else? But the real problem, as we know, is that the bureaucratic nightmare that LEADER has turned into, where the LEADER programme was taken from the local authorities, taken from the development companies, politicised and put into the local authorities. The Minister and indeed the Government was told at the time that that was a wrong step. It was told by Europe and told by the hundreds of people who gathered in community halls right across this country. So what I'm saying is the LEADER programme is desperately needed and needed to run efficiently. But there was a programme, there is a programme for rural Ireland in realising the potential of rural Ireland with 270-something actions. Forget about giving the illusion of investment to rural Ireland. We need investment in rural Ireland, not just the illusion. That has happened in this and happened in many other cases. So I would like the Minister to come in here to the House to explain why he wasn't upfront in telling people the source of this money and in giving guarantees that the local improvement scheme will be funded properly in the years ahead.